And we have never seen a president less politically skilled, less politically equipped than this one to turn that kind of problem around. And so he has panicked. He is trying to hit the eject button. Somebody convinced this president that attacking immigrants would work for him politically. Somebody convinced him that the American people would be bloodthirsty about that we'd love it, that the crueler he was to immigrants, the more political capital he would accrue. Instead, what we are seeing is the opposite. In town after town, in blue states and red states, in school after school, in parish after parish, in city after city, it has run him into a wall. Because the American people do not want this kind of cruelty against the immigrants who live among us and are our neighbors and friends.
That wasn't even the most awkward moment of the night. That award went to Congress Demons Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene, who took a break from yelling at the busboys at Applebee's to yell at the president. They heckled him just as he was talking about his deceased son, Bo. Here they are, looking like they're 5 hard seltzers deep at a Thunder Down Under show in Vegas.
It comes amid mounting revolt from GOP lawmakers who say the plan or concept or whatever, that's how I'm always going to describe it, aligns too closely with Democratic-style ACA extensions.
Yes, you heard that correctly. So Democrats got a promise of a vote in the United States Senate to extend ACA subsidies. Then Trump was apparently ready to release a plan that was similar to what some wanted in terms of extending subsidies for 2 years. But now Republicans in the House are saying, we don't actually want to support that and we have no appetite to do it. So you're not going to get a vote on this in the House. You're not going to get an extension of the subsidies if these continue this way. And remember that deal cut by Democrats in the United States Senate? Well, it's not looking too great right now because if you're not going to get a vote in the House, what's the point of a promise of vote in the Senate? Mind you, that vote in the Senate hasn't even been scheduled yet. We don't know if it'll happen or when it'll happen. And your premiums can go up by 175% as soon as January 1st. Spread the word, follow along to stay updated on all the news that you need to know about. More to come soon.
You know what drives Donald Trump absolutely crazy? A woman with the receipts. And for nearly a decade, Rachel Maddow has been sitting on more receipts than anyone in cable news. She's exposed his tax returns, documented his Russia ties, blown up his financial lies, and systematically destroyed the myth that Donald Trump is some kind of brilliant businessman. And every single time she does it, Trump completely loses his mind. We're talking about a president who called her show seriously failing.
And if there is something to learn about what Trump in power is gonna be like, I think the first 100 days have given us one very clear lesson, right? We know he's trying for the whole dictator thing, no elections, no courts, no resistance, rule by terror, right? We know that. We know the people of this country aren't having it. But I think what we should also know, what we have just lived through in this first 90 plus days thus far, is him screwing up. It's him absolutely blowing it. I mean, it is one thing to understand the gravity of his intentions, but I think it is equally important to recognize that he's really bad at everything he tries to do. I don't know if he's bad at good stuff he tries to do because he's not trying to do much that seems good. But the bad stuff he's trying to do, he's been real bad at that. I mean, it hasn't been funny exactly. It's too disgusting for that, but it has been the proverbial comedy of errors.
See if you can guess which former president just posted that on Truth. Anyone? No? Well, thank you, President Trump. Thank you for watching. I'm surprised you're still... Isn't it past your jail time?
A president who stood at CPAC in front of thousands of his most devoted supporters and spent multiple minutes ranting about a cable news host. A president who declared Maddow's entire network a threat to our democracy in all caps on Truth Social. That's how much she gets under his skin. Before we break down every moment Maddow exposed Trump and every meltdown that followed, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss this kind of accountability journalism.
To ask Mr. Mamdani, you've accused the U.S. government of committing genocide in Gaza while President Trump was working on peace. Why that?
I've spoken about the Israeli government committing genocide, and I've spoken about our government funding it. And I shared with the president in our meeting about the concern that many New Yorkers have of wanting their tax dollars to go towards the benefit of New Yorkers and their ability to afford basic dignity. And what we see right now is we're in the 9th consecutive year of more than 100,000 school children being homeless in our city. And there's a desperate need not only for the following of human rights, but also the following through on the promises we've made New Yorkers. And I appreciated the meeting we had and the work that we can do.
Where is Will Smith when you need him? And the audience laughed. And then, so she saw it. And she decided she was going to try to get some political mileage out of this. This is what she does instead of working. She tweets. After she saw it, she tweeted, ABC contacts my employer. This threat of violence against me by Jimmy Kimmel has been filed with the Capitol Police. She called the police and reported.
Something that he has promised repeatedly since his first term.
In history.
I want to talk to you about Obamacare. Since the pandemic hit, millions of people have lost their jobs and thereby lost their health insurance. And almost 500,000 have signed up for Obamacare. Your administration just announced that you're signing on to a lawsuit to overturn Obamacare.
And replace it.
Why does it make sense to overturn Obamacare, with which people now are relying on? Democrats are going to say the man who's wanted to kill Obamacare is going to take away the protection for pre-existing conditions.
First of all, we got rid of the individual mandate. Pre-existing conditions will always be taken care of by me and Republicans, 100%.
But you've been in office 3.5 years. You don't have a...
Let's start with the night that made history, March 14th, 2017. Donald Trump had been president for less than 2 months, and he was still refusing to release his tax returns, something every major presidential candidate had done for decades. He claimed he was under audit and couldn't release them. The IRS had already confirmed that was a lie. Audits don't prevent anyone from releasing their own returns. Then at 7:36 p.m., Rachel Maddow sent a tweet that broke the internet. Breaking. We've got Trump tax returns. Tonight, 9 p.m. ET, MSNBC.
Doing this show is not about me. I appreciate you having me. It's really about you and Emma and all these great actors and actresses and filmmakers. But I was told we have like an extra minute, and I'm really proud of something. I was wondering if I could share it with you. I just got a review, and has there ever been a worse host than Jimmy Kimmel at the Oscars? His opening was that of a less than average person trying too hard to be something which he is not and never can be. Get rid of Kimmel and perhaps replace him with another washed up but cheap ABC talent, George Slopanopoulos. He would make everybody on stage look bigger, stronger, and more glamorous. Blah, blah, blah. Make America great again.
Get here, the wheels of justice grind slowly. I did not think they would grind so slowly that they would rock the defendant apparently to sleep at the defense table today. I mean, I have to say, I was not there. I do not know if he was asleep. It is possible he was, meditating or just resting his eyes or something. I don't know.
Proving once more that this ever so united Republican front that Trump likes to convey is getting more turbulent by the day.
Subsidizing the insurance companies is not the answer because it just drives the cost up even further. So we need to look at the root causes. The Republican Party is the party that is working on that, has been working on it, and has more ideas going forward. We've got to bring down the costs, and you can do that in a responsible way that also increases access and quality of care. And we got notebooks full of ideas on how to do that. We got to build consensus around it.
Seriously, the political world went insane. For 84 minutes, millions of Americans waited to find out what Maddow had obtained. And here's what proved how powerful this moment was. The Trump White House panicked so badly that they released their own statement about Trump's taxes before Maddow's show even aired. They were trying to get ahead of whatever she had. That's not what innocent people do. What Maddow revealed were 2 pages from Trump's 2005 federal tax return.
Both the House and Senate voted to release the long-withheld files related to a man who considered himself to be Trump's closest friend for more than a decade, the late sex criminal Jeffrey Epstein. The vote in Congress went 427-1. It was such a landslide, Trump might actually be able to rebury the Epstein file.
Trump advisor and campaign aide Roger Stone was charged and convicted and sentenced to prison. Trump White House National Security Advisor Michael Flynn was charged and convicted. Trump's campaign advisor George Papadopoulos was charged and convicted and sentenced to prison. The Trump Organization's CFO Alan Weisselberg was charged and convicted and sentenced to prison. Trump's chief strategist Steve Bannon was charged with wire fraud and money laundering. He's been sentenced to prison pending appeal for defying a subpoena. Trump's business was itself found guilty of tax fraud.
When President Trump is planning to unveil a new health care proposal, and at this point we're still waiting to know exactly what's in it, but we're told it could include a temporary extension of the Enhanced Affordable Care Act subsidies, which are due to expire at the end of the year. They were at the center of the government shutdown. Zach, thanks for being here. As I noted, we are very much still waiting for specifics here. I'm sorry, this has actually been, sorry, Zach, we're getting breaking news while I'm talking to you. I have learned that the White House has postponed its expected unveiling of this new health care proposal. It was expected to be unveiled today. We'll learn more, hopefully, about that in the coming moment.
Obtained by Pulitzer Prize-winning investigative reporter David K. Johnston, the documents showed Trump made $150 million that year, but only paid $38 million in taxes, and only because of the alternative minimum tax. Without that AMT, which Trump was already planning to abolish as president, he would have paid virtually nothing. But here's what the critics who called it a nothing burger missed completely. Maddow spent 20 minutes before the reveal doing something far more important than showing 2 pages of numbers. She laid out Trump's financial ties to Russia
right to the end because he has no idea how to play cards against opposition to him that is this big, this sustainable, this broad, and this correct. He hasn't done anything as president that would win anyone over to his side. And the number of people who voted for him or supported him otherwise, who are now regretting it, grows by the day. And they don't just—
As far as this gentleman is concerned, he's done a phenomenal job. You're mentioning somebody that was extremely controversial. A lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're talking about. Whether you like him or didn't like him, things happen. But he knew nothing about it, and we can leave it at that. You don't have to embarrass our guest by asking a question like that.
That's right. How dare you embarrass a man who had a columnist sawed into pieces? Things happen. Things happen. This is not an episode of The Sopranos. You're the president of the—
Turkey, Cyprus, and China. She explained why his refusal to release his full returns was about hiding conflicts of interest that could compromise every decision he made as president. She built the case that the American people deserve to know who their president was financially connected to. That's not sensationalism. That's investigative journalism at its finest. And Trump's response? He called it fake news and said Maddow was desperate for ratings. But here's the thing. 413 million people watched that night. That was Maddow's biggest audience ever. That was MSNBC's second biggest audience ever for a regularly scheduled show.
Senate today sent the bill to the White House. Now, usually when Trump gets a bill, he declares bankruptcy and doesn't pay it. But this one, he's going to have to sign it, or at least he says he's going to sign it, which means there's about maybe a 12% chance he will. Trump hasn't been this nervous about signing something since Don Jr.'s birth certificate. And he's not the only one. Speaker Mike Johnson, who shut most of Washington down for like 2 months to try to avoid this, very much wanted to amend the bill to allow them to redact names.
No president ever has been, no former president ever has been a criminal defendant. And on day one, the headlines coming out of it are that he appeared to doze off. And to me, that's just, I mean, it's insane. It's also a reminder of how scary, however scary and somber and important this is. We're also dealing with somebody who is just fundamentally buffoonish. And this will be as much a reminder of that as it is of all the more serious things here that are at stake. You know, this is a—
Well, we haven't had, excuse me, you heard me yesterday. We're signing a healthcare plan within 2 weeks, a full and complete healthcare plan that the Supreme Court decision on DACA gave me the right to do. So we're going to sign an immigration plan, a healthcare plan, and various other plans. And nobody will have done what I'm doing in the next 4 weeks. The Supreme Court gave the President of the United States powers that nobody thought the President had by doing what they did, their decision on DACA.
The people had spoken. They wanted accountability. And Trump calling it fake news proved Maddow had hit a nerve. Subscribe to this channel because accountability journalism like this is what democracy runs on. And we're documenting every moment of this fight. Fast forward to January 2025. Trump was back in the White House, and Rachel Maddow made a decision that terrified him. She returned to 5 nights a week. She had been doing just Mondays since 2022, but for the first 100 days of Trump's second term, she committed to being there every night, holding him accountable every single night.
headlines, on the front page of the New York Times, front page of the Washington Post, front page of the Huffington Post, front page of multiple news outlets today coming out of this, that Trump appeared to fall asleep on the first day of his trial, those are going to stick. I mean, I know it's not the most important legal thing, but we are in the middle of a campaign, and the age issue is the main thing the Trump campaign wants to use against his opponent. The whole Sleepy Joe thing. I mean, this is, as you said, Ari, this is the most historic thing that Donald Trump has ever done.
Joe Biden is on a non-sugar high after his State of the Union address last night. More than 33 million Americans watched Grandpa POTUS speak for more than an hour. He announced he will release 60 million barrels of oil from our National Reserve, which is good news for Ted Cruz's hair. And, it was interesting what he did not speak about last night. Biden did not talk about Trump, North Korea, or Bruno. He doesn't.
Marjorie Taylor Greene thinks that you're too extreme. There's an issue.
And so gaslighting the people and trying to tell them that prices have come down is not helping. It's actually infuriating people, because people know what they're paying at the grocery store. They know what they're paying for their kids' clothes and school supplies. They know what they're paying for their electricity bills. And so that approach does not work. We need compassion and show that we care about the American people, and show that we are in the trenches with them on what they're going through. That's first and foremost. You don't gaslight them, you don't lecture them, and you don't deny what's happening.
And to add to that trouble, well, Trump now has opted to delay his new healthcare plan rollout, or concept of a plan, or whatever it is.
Trump's response was immediate. On Truth Social, he posted, "Wow, Rachel Maddow has horrible ratings. She'll be off the air very soon. MSNBC is close to death. CNN has reached the bottom. This is a good thing. They are the enemy of the people." Enemy of the people. That's the phrase Trump uses for anyone who tells the truth about him. That's the language of dictators. That's what he calls journalists who do their jobs too well. But Maddow kept going. On February 20th, 2025.
We are carefully following the path of Hurricane Epstein right now. It is a Category 5. It's expected to make landfall sometime very soon. We are now one step closer to answering the question, what did the president know, and how old were these women when he knew it?
I mean, this is a president who appointed a madman to be the nation's health secretary, and who in turn, he has just put like a QAnon conspiracy chat room in charge of the nation's vaccine schedule. This is a president who is selling coins and gold trinkets with his face on them.
First, the release of the Epstein files. Now, it seems MAGA Mike is allegedly cautioning the White House that most House Republicans don't have an appetite for extending Enhanced Affordable Care Act subsidies.
We have some big news right now. Donald Trump's healthcare plan is falling apart before it's even released, as Mike Johnson, according to Olivia Beavers, is privately warning the White House that there's no appetite among House Republicans to extend any Affordable Care Act subsidies.
Watched her in 2017. She averaged 2.5 million viewers in 2024. She returned to 5 nights a week in January 2025 to cover his second term. His allies' lawsuits against her have failed repeatedly. His FCC threats against her network have not silenced her. His CPAC rant about her ratings did not stop her from showing up the next Monday. And here's the most important thing to understand. Every time Trump goes nuts about Rachel Maddow, every all-caps Truth Social post, every CPAC rant, every enemy of the people attack, he is proving exactly why her journalism matters.
The President of the United States made it very clear he wants to see me and the hundreds of people who work here fired from our jobs. Our leader celebrates Americans losing their livelihoods because he can't take a joke.
In any other world, the president bringing back a former campaign chairman who had just gotten out of prison, bringing him back again after he got out of prison would be crazy pants. But in Trump Republican politics, hey, I mean, get in line. It wasn't just Trump's campaign chairman who went to prison. Trump's campaign vice chairman, Rick Gates, was also charged and convicted and sentenced to prison.
Just further proves that the divide in the Republican Party seems to be growing wider.
Donald Trump's dictatorial power over Congress will not continue. Today, Donald Trump is the biggest loser in presidential history on legislation passed by both the House and the Senate that is a direct rebuke of the president.
Speaker Johnson recently cautioned the White House, according to this Wall Street Journal article, that, quote, most House Republicans don't have an appetite for extending the enhanced ACA subsidies, even as Donald Trump's advisors were producing a plan to extend those subsidies for 2 years.
Powerful people don't dedicate this much energy to silencing people who don't matter. They go after the ones who are actually getting through. Rachel Maddow is getting through, and Donald Trump absolutely cannot stand it. Subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications, and drop a comment below because the fight to hold power accountable is far from over, and Rachel Maddow has shown she's going to be in this fight no matter how many times Trump loses his mind on Truth Social. The receipts don't disappear just because you call them fake news. That's the lesson Trump keeps refusing to learn. And that's why Maddow wins every time.